Welcome back YouTube, VST here at SP Tech, and I got the latest December update on my S22 Ultra. It's the BVL-B1 version, 400 megabytes. It's 19th of December, crazy cold outside, but I decided to take my phone for a walk outside, and I want to just ask one main question. Almost 1 year after the release, is now the S22 Ultra finally good? And is the S22 Ultra now, after 3 updates, finally up to speed and be crowned the king of the Android phones for 2022, which I believe it is? But okay, let's just ask this question. Let's put it to the rough test, guys. And if you're here for the first time, you might as well want to subscribe. Appreciate it. Let's start. As we already said, this is the third Android 13 One UI 5 release for the S22 Ultra, and Samsung are really doing great compared to other brands like Xiaomi, which are struggling to get Android 13. Time for some changelog, guys. Almost 500 megabytes, and yeah, one of my favorite updates, stability improved, and yeah, some other functions. But the whole point of this video is just to understand, can we just now browse Telegram, for example, and upload videos, i.e. do some regular user stuff without having these occasional stutters and lags? Honestly, my hopes are really very elevated, as a lot of the users on my channel report that this update is just taking animation on a next level. Simple things like what you see on the screen right now, turning on and off the screen, accessing the phone using the fingerprint reader, and just doing standard regular user stuff, watching a YouTube video, taking a screenshot and uploading it through Telegram. The main question throughout this whole video is going to be, is finally S22 Ultra up to everybody's expectation? Let's start. So here we are now after the introduction, and we're gonna start with the home screen. So you know, I'm always doing this several times, running WQHD Plus, guys, on 120 Hz. Again, this is not ideal. In FHD Plus, it's smoother, right? But it's still way better than it used to be. And I'm also going to try to test the very same animation also in the landscape mode, right? In November update, it was still good. December update, I'm still happy to report that it's still performing quite nice. While I'm on my home screen, guys, I'm gonna go to the left to access my Google Now. You can just see it was all smooth, not a problem at all. Going back on my home screen, navigating through all my screens, right, not a lag, absolutely fine, I would say. And now going back to my home screen, one swipe up will get me my app drawer, so I can just see all my apps are there. Clicking here on the search button, okay, just seeing, trying to get some idea for any stutters or any lags. Right now, it seems that it's quite okay. While I'm navigating through all these menus, the idea really is to try to get some stutters or some lags. But as we can see right now, it seems to be more or less controlled. Now, if I swipe down, guys, I'm gonna get notification animations. So one more time. I think Samsung mastered this a while ago, and I honestly don't see a lot of people complaining with the notification animations. You can browse them all nice, not a problem at all. You can get rid of them, you can just go here, you know, see the notification in full, or even click there to reply. Now, all of these things really are absolutely fine, and I do not believe that anybody can be unhappy with this. So one more time, guys, I'm going to do the same. Let me just now bring my phone back to the landscape mode. All right, going through all my menus there, checking my notifications, okay. There was this slight delay, but not kind of a lag, just a slight delay. All right, and now searching for my app drawer. You can just see how smooth the user interface is. One more time, app drawer, search. Okay, it feels really very natural in the hand and also very, very smooth. And as we are now back on my home screen, it's time to check the quick settings. So one swipe down, one more swipe. Quick setting with the blur, all quite nice. Click here, just edit buttons, right? Not a problem at all. It all operates, I would say, quite nice. So Samsung, at the end of the day, were able to kind of master, I think, the basic of the fluidity of the interface. So far, my experience with the December update is more or less positive. I think that Samsung are almost there, but you know, they're just lacking this tiny bit, which is again not an animation thing, but a consistency thing. So if you have been following my channel, guys, know I do believe that the animations are okay, but the problem is that they're not executed all the time in the best possible way. Hence, for me, that's a consistency issue. And speaking about animations, now let's just observe the blur. Okay, this is something very interesting, guys. I've been having some chat with some of you on my YouTube channel. It seems that the blur is not present on some of the mid-range phones. And until recently, I believe that the A series, like the mid-range phones, are not able to handle blur like this just because purely performance driven. But it seems that's not the case, and there are ways to kind of enable this one. All right, now we have this very beautiful video playing in, and if I just try to go back to my notifications, you can just see the blur that is applied in real time, and it's really beautiful. I mean, this effect is really beautiful, and if Samsung can really enable this also for other phones beside the S series, then Samsung, guys, please do so, right? It should not be really a unique selling point, but then again, it could be still a mixed thing between sales and performance. While I'm on the home screen, guys, let's just try to explore the widgets. So I have a special widgets testing screen. This here is the weather. I really love the weather animation. You can just see this here is a stacked widget, right? So I have the weather here, okay? And if I just keep going to the right side, I'm gonna have the clock, right? And see those effects, guys, the way I access the clock, and then boom, the animation, the frame just vanishes. I think this is straight gorgeous and I really love it. I have here then again one more time the weather, but just another widget, which is also a stacked one. And here down below I do also have a stacked widget. So widget wise, I do believe that we don't have any performance issues. Samsung mastered this a while ago and it all now works very fluent. And speaking about fluency, let's just see what I have here in my recent menu. So a lot of my applications, right? This animation I think is also flawless. See? Never had a problem with this one, or probably just in the very early days of One UI 4, but right now this here performs absolutely fantastic. While I'm inside, guys, I can click here and try to search for something. You can just see I can go very quickly access my settings, not a problem at all, and going to the home screen and to the recent menu several times will not cause any major issue for the phone. Now let's pay some special attention to the up drawer and the search. So that's the up drawer. If I want to bring an icon here, I can click the icon, right? I can just hold it like this, right? Or let's say I can just click an icon, guys, and I can press add to home. It will pretty much do the same thing, right? And I can of course remove it, then go back to my up drawer. It's simple and I think very, very efficient. Also here, guys, you can sort it up, custom order, alphabetical order, and of course you have access to a lot of settings. The same settings, by the way, that you can also get from the home screen clicking on settings. So that's kind of the way things work. And while we're here, guys, let's just click one more time and access the wallpaper and style. Android 13 with the beautiful options here with the color palette, with a lot of colors that can be extracted from the wallpaper color, but also just stick to some basic colors like this. And all the time I do this test, I apply the palette to the up icons just to see how quick my phone can handle this. I'm doing this, I'm going on the home screen, and I know that it's going to take some time, but I'm just doing this as part of the test. And right now, by the way, we can just see the phone was able to handle this very, very nicely. And slowly but steady, we are now approaching to the next section, which is going to be some apps opening. And I believe here really starts the fun. So the first thing we're gonna open, guys, is Twitter, and just notice I'm using the Twitter beta, but right now also the regular Twitter will support these themed icons. So for the app testing, guys, I'm gonna close everything. All right, I'm gonna go inside the folders. Let's first show some folders animation. Very beautiful, guys, not a problem at all. See, very, very beautiful, no lag, no stutter whatsoever. Now opening the Twitter for the first time. Okay, I will now go here, let it refresh. I'm now in my Twitter, and by the way, Twitter scrolling seems to be really improved. And I'm not sure, is it only because I'm using the Twitter beta? I do believe that it's also that probably Samsung did, because guys, see, I never seen Twitter for Android being so smooth. It absolutely works like crazy. It might also be because I'm using the beta one. So if that's the case, guys, just go and download the Twitter beta. You can download an APK directly from the internet, so don't worry about this. I do believe that Twitter scrolling right now is very, very nicey and just works very good. The next app I want to test is Chrome, so I'm just going to open Chrome. Okay, wow. Very nice, very fluid, all the browsing. I have a lot of tabs, by the way, you can just see. Sometimes I even go something like 86 tabs, and I never really had a problem with this. The next app I'm going to open is Telegram. So Telegram, boom, loading crazy. Not a problem at all whatsoever with navigation and all of that. Telegram really very optimized. And guys, now the next thing I'm gonna go open is Viber. Okay, Viber, just scrolling works okay. Not a problem at all, right? And guys, now we're gonna go into the more interesting section when I'm opening Snapchat and TikTok and Instagram. Why? Because these applications, they do deal mainly with video and photo. I'm gonna give you an example, guys. Something that really was getting me out of my shoes was when I was open Instagram, right? So I tried to search here, it was working nice. And if I go to the left, guys, this animation, although still not perfect, this animation was very, very bad. There might be a very easy explanation to this, guys. Every time you do engage with the camera viewfinder, your screen display refresh rate will drop to 60 Hertz. This is something given. There are ways to force it to 120, but sadly, this doesn't really improve that much the experience. But what we can see, guys, Instagram definitely working better. So I think Samsung really are working quite honestly to try to improve things. So the next application that I'm going to open also deals with video, and this is going to be TikTok. All right, so TikTok, opening TikTok, trying to scroll down a bit. Okay, scroll. Let me just try to add a new video, access my camera. And yeah, I mean, not that bad at all. You can just see, guys. All right, so see here. Okay, camera. Yep, I think better, right? It was not so good before. And my last test with the social apps is going to be on Snapchat. So opening Snapchat, wow, directly to the camera. Okay, this was not so bad at all. Let's go here to the chat. Okay, and I just go open the camera, chat, camera. One more time, I'm going to open Snapchat. All right, I'm going to close now the viewfinder. I'm going to try to see something else. All right, now one more time to the viewfinder, guys. And yeah, I do believe, you see here, by the way, it's a live viewfinder, guys. So I really can take some luck here. I kind of somehow understand it, but you know, it's been really better in this very, very latest December update. Okay, let me also show you like Facebook, guys. Never had a problem with Facebook. You can just open it, scroll down very quickly. And it's the same also with Messenger. If you open Messenger, just scroll through the list. They have never had a problem with all of them. And right now I already have some apps open here, which will help me for my next test. But before the next test, guys, I'm gonna do also the camera animations. Let's open the camera. Let's choose the front viewfinder. Let's go from photo to video. Okay, closing the camera, opening the camera, closing the camera, opening the camera. I think Samsung mastered this animation. And if you're interested to see what will happen if I try to open the camera almost 1000 times, actually 999 times, you can check my video from yesterday. I'm gonna link it here, guys. Really incredible, because things like this will usually put a lot of strain on your phone, and yeah, the result I think is rather interesting. Now, memory allocations, guys, let me show you something else. If I go now to the Good Guardians model, guys, and there is a reason why I'm doing this. Inside the Good Guardians, there is a memory guardian model, which will also give you a very nice statistics on the allocated memory. Of course, we need to wait for this to load. Right now, guys, I am using almost 8 GB from my 12 GB of RAM. I didn't really click anything here to clean it up, and you can here go and check your history. This here in blue is cached, this here is running, and this here is system memory, so you can just see your allocation. And if you want to get a bit more details, you can always go to the developers options. The developers option, guys, will also give you a nice indication on the memory usage. You can just go back to almost 1 day. You can see the performance was okay or not. You can see how much memory was reserved and all of this. And of course, there is a memory usage per application. So if you have problems with your battery, guys, and you want to check something specifically, then you can use the memory guardian and also the memory settings from the developers option. And with that said, guys, I will now start testing the split windows, because I do believe that they received some nice upgrades into the December update. What do I mean? Let me show you, guys. Inside Telegram, hitting here, boom. See, the animation I think is a bit slowed down compared to November, but it's very, very flawless, guys. And I do believe this time Samsung decided to do no compromise with this. All right, let's minimize the Telegram. Let's put it there. I'm gonna open Twitter. I'm gonna do some scrolling there, and I'm gonna do the same with Twitter and see, boom. The moment I put it, guys, really it feels so smooth. And I mean, you can do this also with other applications. So let's just also try to do this with the camera. All right, I'm going to do this, boom. Now also camera, and you know what is impressive? Every time it impresses me, even in a pop-up window, guys, the viewfinder will remain open. And I'm not sure if there is any other mobile operating system that can do things like this, but this is really impressive that Samsung are able to do so. Now, guys, one swipe will just get me back on my home screen. There is also an easier way for you to go in a pop-up window in case you're struggling with these curved edges. Go inside your recent screen, guys, click on the application, and you can just put it there for a pop-up window. But in my next text, guys, I'm gonna go hold it and I'm gonna put it there for a split screen. And I always do a split screen with Twitter, just trying testing, you know, how scrolling works. yeah, what can you say, guys? I'm really impressed. All nice. Clicking here and trying to add a pair as a home screen. So guys, now what I did, if I go back on my home screen, I will have a special icon that will get me this. This is really fantastic, right? So let's say you're following the game, you want to watch a game here and in the same time comment it somewhere, boom. Clicking this will always get you this view. And you can of course also try to save it here on your edge icons. Clicking on this tab, guys, will allow you to rotate around the views. And by the way, it's a good chance for us to just see the animation. I would say it's quite nice. For the next topics, guys, I'm gonna go one more time inside Good Guardians, and there is a very good reason for me doing so. Thermal Guardian. You know, from Thermal Guardian, guys, you can just set your thermal threshold. So I'm using the highest one, which means that my phone will accept a bit more heat. And you know, speaking about heat, every time the phone generates heat, you're gonna pay. And the price you pay when there is more heat, meaning the phone, let's say, is more powerful, the price you pay is with this thing here, the battery life. So more performance equals to more heat equals to less battery, right? But yeah, you understand, this is really how the universe works. But what is important, guys, I'm clicking here on the highest level, which means my phone will take a bit more heat, hopefully do better with performance. And also, guys, you can check here in the next screen, there are several options that will allow you to monitor the temperature and also the CPU usage, and then you can just see what exactly was doing a spike. In one of my previous videos, guys, I addressed the option to turn off adaptive battery. So from device care, you can click on the battery and then you can, guys, click on the more battery settings. Adaptive battery is on right now, right? Because I just want to do like a full stock test on the December ROM. But else, guys, adaptive battery on, and also from process ping going to high allowed me to reach some very, very nice results. And speaking about results, I will show you now some GeekBench and 3D Mark. And I do believe that the results are actually rather nice. When I installed the November ROM, guys, I did a test and it was not so good at all. And I think that's quite understandable because every time you install a new firmware, you need to wait a bit for the phone to fully adapt everything. But then the scores were very bad. I didn't really wait when I installed the December one, and I really got these mind-blowing result just out of the blue. 1018 on my single core score and almost 3300 on my multi-core score. And guys, also I was able to view this online. You know the story, Samsung was trying to cheat with using the GOS and all of that, and they were called by GeekBench, and at some point Samsung was kind of like delisted from the GeekBench servers. Right now all seems to be back. Apparently Samsung fixed that one, and yeah, you can now again upload your results and just see it online. And this is the result that I was getting with the wildlife test. Again, only the wildlife, no the extreme one. 6205. Is it bad? Is it good? I don't know. Some people get something like 6800. I'm in general not so impressed by benchmarks, but I still want to do them just to try to have my finger on the pulse and see how things are going. And speaking about benchmarks, I need to also address the battery. I did some screenshots during these 3 days of testing so that you can just see how it went. Honestly, yeah, first time I was using my phone, guys, I got almost like 3 hours screen on time. This very big degradation here came from the fact that I tried to open my camera almost 1000 times. Like I told you, can check this video there. This here is a more recent test. I left the phone on my table without, of course, charging it. So I think the idle drain is not so much. I've been using for like 10 hours, but you can just see, guys, that I'm reaching 22% with almost like 2.5 hours screen on time. My own understanding for an acceptable screen on time is at least 4 hours. Here, I think with these settings, probably 3 hours, 3.5 hours tops, so that's not really ideal. But okay, it is what it is, guys. It's still a step in the right direction. Also, the screenshots animation, guys, definitely better and improved, or at least quicker compared to the November update. So if I have to wrap it up, like, the long story short is Samsung are still doing the right things. The phone feels better. It's been like almost 1 year from the initial release, right? Okay, 9 months. It's still not perfect. It's not picture perfect. It should be better because sometimes I do still get these occasional lags and stutters, specifically when my phone rests for, let's say, half an hour. Then I open it, I go inside, I log somewhere, and I just send a picture, and then boom, I have this lag or stutter. And this really drives me nuts, right? But also sometimes, guys, I'll just be browsing, saving some screenshots, trying to open Viber and send them, and then boom, occasional lag. And occasional stutter still plagues this phone. In my experience from the last years using the S series on Samsung, they will probably make it perfect just when the next phone is knocking on the door. But it is what it is, guys. And I really hope that you like content like this. If that's the case, don't forget to sub to the channel, guys. Stay safe, you and your families. Thank you so much for watching. VST, over and bye.